What is up there, everybody in YouTube? True McFly with a year in review video. Let's see if I can get this a little straighter here. Um, this is the first time I'm doing a year in review. This is what I played, and beaten, and I ranked them in the order of whether I liked them or in descending order, and if I liked them or not. This is the first year I've been able to do this because this is the first year I played enough games to warrant me doing this and beating enough games. I've always played enough games. I just never had I'd get to something, play for a little while, and then stop playing. So a lot of these I don't have physical copies of because I'm a lazy fat ass. So I either they were digital games that I bought or purchased, or PS Plus free games, and or GameFly games that went back. So the last one was the 5th game I beat this year, and these two are actually I owe Chad Bailey and D. Redaya. Thanks, because in our little group we're in, they were posting. Actually, it wasn't even in the group. They're on their pages. They were posting these games, and I was like, "What the heck are they?" I looked them up. They're super cheap, easy platinums. And so I went ahead and purchased them, and I kind of regret that I did, but I did it and got the platinums, and I can at least say that. It gave me a lot of trophies, but they were terrible. The first one is the 23rd game. My favorite game is Mr. Masaji. It's definitely Japan animation type of. It's actually taking a satire look on the pervertedness of the Japan animation, and actually makes it even go, and they want to see how far they can push the envelope without getting super vulgar. It was a pretty bad game, if you really call it that. You just basically had to go on these dates with these people. You were this super stud, and you were going on these dates with these people off a website. I don't remember, but it's easy platinum. It can be a little bit amusing as far as how over the top it is, but it's my last on the list. And surprisingly, this one is 22. This one, it even there's no really game mechanics to it. It's called My Name is Mayo, and you just tap a mayonnaise jar 10,000 times. And I ain't joking. You just tap the button 10,000 times. And the only reason this got a higher rating than Mr. Masaji was because the story was a little funny. After you tapped it so long, he turned into like a cheetah mayonnaise or something. It was kind of, it's different. If it's 99 cents and you want an easy platinum, and you got it took me 40 minutes to platinum it, and you want a sore finger the next day, My Name is Mayo was right up your alley. But it's really not a game. It's just, but it had more thought than Mr. Masaji. I thought it had more. How can we take something that's so boring and make it, I don't know, kind of interesting? But is it worth buying? Unless you're a platinum and want an easy platinum, that's the only way it'd be worth buying. So that's number 22, my 22nd favorite game. My 21st favorite game was I got it on a flash sale, I believe, in the middle of June when they have their best flash sale on PSN, and it was LA Cops. So LA Cops is basically kind of like a Hotline Miami type game, except not as cool. It is interesting. It can be fun. You have 2 players, 2 cops, and you can control either one. You basically, it almost works out to where the one cop is almost in your way. He's more of a hindrance than a help. But there's a way to set it up where he can actually help you out, but he's kind of weak sauce. So basically, I beat the game having one cop stay back, and then I went out, and if I died, then I used the other cop. It's okay. Little short. Had some like This Is the Police type of gritty no face graphics. Yeah, kind of a turn thumbstick shooter. It was okay. It was okay. I think I paid, it was $1.99. I think it was worth. It was at least worth $1.99. The next two on my list, they're both actually pretty much the same game. And you're going to say, well, how did you beat these games? And I'll tell you, because I got a platinum on both of them. That's how I beat them. This one was a GameFly order. And I usually buy this game every year, but this year I didn't because I heard it was exactly like the previous year. And they are 100% accurate. And that's Madden 19. I got it from GameFly. It has a story mode. The trophies, they recycled almost 100% of the same trophies as 18. I mean, it's football. What can I say? I'm a sports fan. I love sports games. But EA, you're mailing it in, man. Madden's not even dead, and you're tarnishing his name. I mean, to not... Basically, you reproduce the same game. You reproduce the same game. So that the next one was the third game I beat this year. And so that was, let's see, 23, 22, 21, 20. The 19th was Madden 18. And this one I do have is my little Tom Brady special edition one that not many people have. This is one where he shows his true colors. Yeah, I mean, this one only gets the slight nod over 19 because it was the first one that had long shot. And it wasn't a bad story. The second time around, the story wasn't as good. But the first time around, I had to play it 3 times through, which got a little boring. You can't skip the cutscenes to platinum it. But it was good the first time through. The second and third time was not so much. So quick on those. The next one, which would be number 18, was a PS3 game that was free. Is Monster Jam Battlegrounds. It's kind of like a Trials Fusion type, if you know the bike where you go and you, but with Bigfoot trucks, monster trucks. The game was pretty fun. There wasn't much to it. Pretty easy platinum. I did platinum that as well. But I mean, there's some fun to be had there. If you find it for under $3 or $4, yeah, sure, I'd jump on it. It was. All I can say is the Trials Fusion game. Got a little frustrating at the end, trying to get the last trophy, but that's talking about the trophy grinding, not the game itself. So, and the next one is actually, so that would be number 17 would be Jeopardy, which I just platinumed, and the reason I'm calling this a win. That I beat this game is because I platinumed it. I played it for over 30 hours. I had to win over 50 games. And that's the reason it's so low on the list. I actually love the game. My wife and I had a good time playing the game. 2-player. I won all the time. I think she won once or twice, but I'm a Jeopardy snob. But anyway, the categories actually, after about 20 wins, all of them started getting recycled. It became very tedious. Over 30 hours to platinum it. Very easy platinum, yet very tedious. And because of that, and I'm judging it a little bit on how long I had to play it to get the platinum. I'm dropping it some down to 17 because it was so tedious there. And so we're up to 16. Another free PS Plus game, and that was Batman Telltale Games. The story was okay. It was a decent story. It really wasn't a game like most visual novels aren't, but this really wasn't a game. There was hardly any button interaction at all. This is my first time I ever played one of the visual novel games, and I was still on the fence if I liked them or not. So, but it was a good game. I liked the cartoon art somewhat. That I did not like the way they drew Oswald, but I did like the cell shading. If that's what it's called. I'm not real sure. The story was okay. It was okay. I think it could have been better, but there that is. The next one was so I think we're up to 15 or 16 or 15. Let's see. Let's find out. 15, up to 15, and that was a GameFly, and that was Gravel. It's a racing game, kind of like a off-road type game. It's one of the few games to platinum, which I did. One of the few games to platinum that it was easier to platinum if you turned off all the assist. The assist hindered game. I actually would have been a lot lower on my list if I didn't find out about the assist. Turning off the assist made the game actually fun-ish. And I say fun-ish. This is the most average racing title I've ever played. The graphics were PS3, late PS2. The physics, the car physics were... I've never played a game that had this car physics. I mean, they weren't terrible, but they weren't good either. The music sucked. So I just turned on Spotify and had that playing through as I played this game. There was a lot of draw when the stuff would not be there, and it would generate almost like N64 fog. Is it a terrible game? No. Is it good? No. It's just right in the middle. Two of my hardest trophies on there were there was 2 online trophies. They were kind of hard because no one was playing it, and the game was just released this year. So Gravel, is it worth? It's if you can find it for under $10, yeah, it's worth it. It's an okay game, but it's not good either. So that brings us to number 14, which is another GameFly rental. And see, I have to play those because they're only rentals. And that was 88 Heroes, kind of a puzzle type Broforce game. It was actually pretty funny. Some of the people, there was 88 different heroes that are trying to save the world. Some of them are useless as hell. Some of them are hilarious. Some are very useful, and you wish you only had those guys. But then some of the names, like Nibbles the Destroyer, it's a hamster and a ball. I mean, he was worthless, but it was funny. My son and I cracked up when they announce him, they go, Nibbles the Destroyer. It's a good game. Very, 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 very buggy. And I don't know if it was my copy from GameFly that was a problem, but that lost a lot of the reason it got further down my list. I mean, it was very buggy. Button responses wouldn't register. They were delayed. They were registered late. It could have been a bad copy, but I don't think so, because my copy looked clean, loaded up, never kicked me out and said I think my dog had a little snake. Yeah, something. Okay, anyway, it's out there playing. But I would say give it a try. If you can find it for less than $10. It's hard to find a physical copy now. It's going to be one of those games that are going to be hard to find. So if you want to pick up a physical copy, just if you're going for a complete PS4 collection, or that would be one I would pick up because it's going to be hard to find in the future. The next one is another GameFly rental, and that was a graphic novel called Root Letter. Very Japanese, definitely driven drama visual novel. I liked it better than Batman Telltale, and only because it had 4 different endings. No, 6 different endings, and they were off the wall. There was some that were good and some that I did play it through quite a few times, but there's a way to go through it faster once you beat it the first time, and I was able to platinum the game. By the time I was done with it, I was done with it. After about the 4th playthrough, and I had like 2 more to go, I just grinded through because I wanted to get that platinum. But it definitely had a good story, good art feel, good voices. It's Japanese dialogue with subtitles. I enjoy that. Once you beat it a few times, you get different options to change the voice over characters. Gallery options open up. Very well done game. Very interesting. So I don't even know where we're at now, but yeah, that was Root Letter. Let's see. Okay, that was 13. So number 12 is Griffin Knight Saga. That was one of the game I picked up on flash sale on the, was it the PS3? I think I played it on the PS4. Side-scrolling shooter-ish type of game. Where you get different weapons by beating certain bosses. It's set kind of, you're on a griffin and you're a knight trying to save the world, and all your friends, other friends' knights have turned into, are being controlled by something. I'm not sure. I don't even remember what. But fairly easy for a shooter. That's why it's kind of further down my list. I do like the shmups. But I'd rather have easy than super hard where you can't even get anywhere. And the story was okay. Once you unlock once you beat your other people, they would give you their weapon. And you could use that weapon to carry on the battle. And it's an interesting game. So I think I got that for, it was $2.99. Definitely worth $1.99. I would say it's definitely worth anything $5 or less. So Griffin Knight Saga, small studio, indie game. But yeah, I enjoyed it. The next one I played on the PS3, I think it was, we got them on all of them as a PlayStation Plus, and that was 99 Vidas. The tongue-in-cheek, what's it called? Bow to the beat 'em up genre in general, and the 80s in general, gave this game, made it go higher on my list. It's actually really a generic beat 'em up when all said and done. The bosses were funny. The bosses were pretty good. And the amount of, they had a big selection of players. You could unlock more players, but it was basically the same thing over and over. I thought about going for a platinum on that, but I didn't see myself beating it with 8 different people. And it was a good game, but it was definitely just a run-of-the-mill beat 'em up once you get past the cover art of it. You know, the art style, which was nice, and the 80s feel, and the paying homage to the other beat 'em ups in the past, and the funny stuff that happened with that. But after that, it was really just a basic beat 'em up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Top 10. Top 10. And this one is on this desk. The Street Fighter Anniversary Collection. This whole collection is awesome. But there's only one game I was able to beat because it's balls ass hard. And that was the original Street Fighter 2. Not the original Street Fighter, not the Street Fighter, but it's Street Fighter 2. I remember in high school and skipping school and going to the mall and playing that at the Sears kiosk. But so for the nostalgia reasons and because it's done really well. Capcom did a good job with that compilation. We'll take a lot more of those, people. So yeah, so the original Street Fighter. I mean, if you don't know what that is, why are you watching me? So I guess that would be number 9 was the first game I beat last year, and I got this because Sporadic Spacebar, who no longer does videos, but he was talking about it on Facebook, and he said he loved the game. So if he endorsed it, I had to go buy it, and it was super cheap. I think it was like $5 or something online, or it might even been a free. It might have been one of the free PlayStation Plus games of the month, and once he said it was awesome, I had to play it right away. And that was Skyforce Anniversary, and he was right. That game is loads of fun. It's a vertical shooter, awesome music, great music, bullet hell, but not out of control. You can beat it. it takes a little while you have to replay the levels over and over so you can level up your weapons and your shields so you're strong enough to move on. But it's okay to do that because the levels are enjoyable to play over and over again. So that's Skyforce Anniversary. The next one I played, and it was, that's not that I played, but on the list, which would be, let's see, that was, oh, I messed up. I messed up 2. So Street Fighter 2 was 10, okay? Number 9 was Final Fight, and that's on the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle. I just got that. Final Fight, I like that game a lot. Is it Streets Rage? No. Is it good? Heck yeah, it's good. Is there some better that's on that bundle? Absolutely. And I got a few of them in my list here. I haven't beat it all. I was playing it during Christmas time. I could have beat them all, but so I'll have some easy ones this year. But yeah, Final Fight. So Final Fight is number 9. Okay, if you don't know what that is, then again, why are you watching this? Number 8 was Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, and that was a free game on the PS4 back when I first got my PS4, and I just fired it up this year. That game was fun, a little indie game where you play as 2 brothers, one bigger, one older, one smaller, and they both have their own special abilities, and you have to use the joysticks. One controls one brother, one controls the other. A little weird to get used to, but once you get used to it, it's like it makes sense. The story was cute. It was sad. It tugged at your heartstrings. It also, you felt glee, and it was well written, well done with the sticks, and it's one I completed. They didn't have a platinum, but I got all the trophies for it. So that was number 8. Our Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. If you haven't checked it out, definitely worth under 10 or less. I think they made a physical copy, and it's fairly cheap. Okay, number 7 was Skyforce Anniversary. So apologize, I would do it over, but I don't have time. So number 7 was Skyforce Anniversary. So revert back. Number 6 was 007 Bloodstone. Now this was a game I beat a little while ago. I don't think the platinum is possible because the online lobbies are dead. They're still up and running, but this game was good. Kind of top-down or over-the-shoulder action, a la Siphon Filter. That's what it reminded me of. The controls reminded me a lot of Siphon Filter and the way he ran and everything. And that's also why it's not as far up on my list, is because it was very floaty on the controller, on the controls when he ran and stuff. Good game, good story. I like the story a lot. A little short, but sometimes that's what you need. You don't need 30 hours of. I think I even going back and getting some more trophies. I probably only put maybe 10 hours into it. I'm still on the fence if I'm going to go for a couple more trophies. But yeah, definitely a good game. So that would be number 5 was on the Capcom bundle, and that was Knights of the Round. I love that game in the arcade. I loved it. I always wanted to be either Lancelot or Percival, because Arthur, King Arthur, but I always wanted to be the other 2. They did great. Why did we get a physical copy of this? This would be one of those few games, I bought it digitally, I was waiting to maybe they would release a physical copy. I thought about getting one from Japan because they released one from Japan. But I decided if it comes out, I'm gonna buy it again just because it's that good. And these developers and stuff need to realize we'll buy this stuff. We'll buy it. Knights of the Round is a good game. It's fun. I like it better than Final Fight. There was a lot of beat 'em ups in the day that Final Fight, Streets of Rage. But this one had a medieval, mythical knight, King Arthur, and I enjoyed it a lot. And so the next one, so that would be number 4. We're getting into the top. We're top 5 now. Number 4. It's actually Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I got it right here, but I never beat the game. And the game is phenomenal. I love the game. The story was great. The way you get to the stuff you get to do, where you go on an AC-130 gunship. I heard the story was great, but they weren't lying. I figured I tried out. It was the game of the month, one of the game clubs I'm a part of, and I didn't play it right when it was, because I'm always a couple months behind. I didn't play it right when it came out, but once I got into it, I love the story. I thought about going for the platinum on that. It's pretty tough. I have to beat it on veteran or the hardest level, and I got to one level where you're creeping through, a little over halfway done on the hardest level. I tried for over a day, and I couldn't get past it. So that's the hardest part about the platinum. So I think I pretty much got all the other trophies except for those. So I don't think I'll be going, because I do have other games I need to move on to. I do love chasing those trophies, but I also love, playing other games too. So, great game. If you guys haven't played the story, play the story. I know people that don't like first-person shooters. I used to love them. Now I'm like, ugh, so tired of them. But good. And the next one, the last one that I beat on the Capcom Beat 'em Up, the King of the Dragons. This game was great. You had like 6 different or 5 different people you could pick from. I've never seen this game in the arcade. I don't know if it ever came out over here. I love this game. It was a little longer than the other two that I beat. I enjoyed it. You could be a archer, a cleric, a warrior, a mage, and there was someone else you could be. I played as the archer the most. It reminded me of, like, it wasn't as graphically inclined as like Knights of the Round, but I thought that added a little charm to it. I don't know if it came out after or before or about the same time as Knights of the Round or Final Fight, but it's probably a little earlier. But I think that added a little charm to it. So, King of the Dragons. If you guys haven't played that beat 'em up, that beat 'em up alone is worth the purchase price, which I got it for $17.99. And I just found out today that it's $15.99 on PSN right now for that Capcom beat 'em ups. Number 2 was a GameFly rental. It's one I'm gonna have to. I missed it on the first time around. I don't have it on a PS3, but I went ahead and picked it up on a PS4. There, and it's Burnout Paradise Remastered. Where was this game? I know people talked about it. I got kind of burnt out on the Burnouts. No pun intended. Well, kind of pun intended. But this game was amazing. The music was amazing. The graphics were amazing. Just driving around the city was just a blast. It was just a blast. Finding all the jumps and great game. Great game. My dogs are getting antsy, so I'm going to try to wrap this up. And this video is almost 30 minutes long, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. But this game is worth it. I think you can get it now for under $15. Go buy it. I'm probably going to purchase it myself. I'm definitely going to purchase it on PS3 because I still need it for my complete PS3 collection. And I might just go back and redo it because I think the trophies are separate. And I'll try to platinum it again because the game's that good. Burnout Paradise. I loved it. Number 1 was the game of the month. It was one of the very few ones I actually played at that month and beat that month. And it was the reboot of Doom. Now, this is a reversible cover. This game was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Very... Get to the later levels. Very intense. Remakes, you usually don't want them to mess with the original, but that was well worth it. I don't want to say too much because my dogs are going crazy, and this video is long enough. But Doom, if you don't have that, pick it up. It's a blast. It's a blast. They're releasing another Doom. I'll probably go buy it day 1, even though I probably won't get to it day 1. But anyway, I hope you all have a new year. Happy gaming. I've already beat 1 game already this year. I'm going to go for a record. But more quality over quantity. I'd rather have fun while I'm doing it. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and here's to another year of gaming YouTube. Later.